Hey everybody, welcome to Beyond the Body. In today's video, we're going to go over 10 principles you should know when starting intuitive eating. Now make sure to watch it to number 1 because this is the most crucial principle you'll ever know when it comes to intuitive eating. But be sure not to skip to the end because the rest are also important. Now before we get started, be sure to check the link in the description for our number 1 weight loss recommendation. And also, be sure to give us a thumbs up by pressing the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell icon so we can keep you posted with future videos. Now let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, what is intuitive eating and why it's important? Intuitive eating is an approach to nutrition that encourages people to develop a healthy relationship with food, rather than rely on strict diets or external influences. Intuitive eaters listen to their own bodies and trust their instincts as they make decisions about what and how much to eat. The goal of intuitive eating is to help people tap into their bodies' natural hunger and fullness cues, achieve a healthier weight without requiring restrictions or spending time on calorie counting, and have more meaningful relationships with the food they eat. It is an important part of good nutrition because it helps people recognize how food nourishes them physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, creating relationships with food that are rooted in pleasure rather than guilt. Truly understanding this connection between physical health and emotional well-being will serve as a helpful foundation for creating lifelong patterns of healthy eating. So, here are the 10 principles you should know, starting with number 10, honor your hunger. Practicing mindful eating and regular meal times can have a huge impact on overall health. Eating when we are truly hungry is an important part of taking care of our bodies. Yet, often, it is challenging to recognize this basic need. We may be accustomed to overeating in response to stress or feeling obligated to clean our plates at meals. Self-honoring hunger involves providing our bodies with nourishment when it needs it, but only in amounts that makes us feel good afterward. Developing a relationship with food and recognizing hunger cues can help us work towards honoring this important physiological need. Making sure your body gets the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients it requires is an essential part of staying healthy and feeling satisfied. Also, listening attentively to physical signals allows us to manage portion size more effectively and plan for snacking between meals if needed. It is important to honor your hunger by being aware of your body's signals for when you need and want to eat, rather than relying on external cues, such as the clock or the sight of food. Fueling up before becoming overly hungry, referred to as the hangry state, is key to maintaining positive energy levels, clarity of thought, and avoiding extreme cravings. Eating while in a state of hunger makes it more likely that we eat too much and make poor food choices. Being intentional with meals will deplete excess stress hormones during meal times and help create a balanced relationship with food so that honoring your hunger becomes a positive part of life. Number 9, make peace with food. Making peace with food is an important step in living a healthy, balanced lifestyle. It starts with becoming mindful of our eating habits and of the underlying emotions that drives them. Learning to recognize our body's needs, both physical and emotional, helps us to better understand how food is integral to feeling nourished, not just physically, but mentally as well. Taking time to practice being in the present moment during meals allows for a deeper relationship between body, mind, and food, one that is absent of guilt or cravings for unhealthy foods. It is an ongoing process rather than a destination you can reach, as there will be days when making healthful choices is more challenging than others. The goal should be to approach dietary decisions in a balanced and non-judgmental way, focusing on nourishing yourself both physically and mentally. It's essential that meals are enjoyed rather than merely consumed. Physical hunger should always be respected, while emotional or stress-induced cravings should be acknowledged before deciding if they are really worth satisfying. Cultivating positive changes in eating patterns will lead to trusting our bodies and their natural rhythms without feeling restricted. Cultivating this type of harmony will help us create more peace with food going forward. Number 8, practice self-compassion. Practicing self-compassion can be an effective way to cultivate better mental health. One approach is intuitive eating, which focuses on developing a better relationship with food and learning to recognize physical hunger, cues, and trust our inner wisdom. Practicing self-compassion is a key element of emotional well-being, and intuitive eating is an intuitive approach to making peace with food. It allows us to trust our bodies by listening to our eternal cues of hunger and fullness, shedding restrictive diets, and finding joy in nourishing our bodies from a place of care rather than rigidity. In doing so, this creates space in our lives that have previously been taken up by guilt or shame around food. When we can listen to and respect our needs without judgment, we reclaim that space for self-care instead. By intuitive eating, we are able to honor true hunger rather than turning to compulsive or emotional eating habits. Practicing intuitive eating can also help in recognizing negative thought patterns, as well as learning self-care, creating personal boundaries, and being aware of how difficult emotions like fear, anxiety, or frustration influence our food choices and feelings about our bodies. Overall, intuitive eating can be beneficial in helping us have a mindful relationship with food and ultimately care for ourselves. Number 7, discover the satisfaction of eating slowly and mindfully. Eating slowly and intuitively provides us with a unique form of satisfaction that can be difficult to achieve in other areas of life. By taking the time to cultivate an intuitive eating experience, we are giving ourselves permission to pause and explore which foods make us feel our best, nourish our bodies, and satisfy our taste buds. Mindful eating requires actively tracking how the physical sensation of each bite feels as it passes through our mouths and down into our stomachs. The key is to savor each bite, slowing down just enough for the flavors to unfold. As we become more attuned to intuitive eating, it can open us up to new forms of enjoyment that might not have been accessible before. Ultimately, discovering the satisfaction of intuitive eating allows us to optimize a crucial aspect of living nourishment, which is one of life's most rewarding accomplishments. Number 6, chew your food thoroughly. One of the simplest yet most effective habits for intuitive eating is to thoroughly chew your food. Chewing your food increases its surface area and makes it easier for your digestive system to break down nutrients, leading to better nutrition. Not only that, but slowing down and focusing on chewing actually gives you time to listen carefully to your body's cues regarding hunger and fullness, so that you can eat intuitively instead of impulsively. Making a point to chew each bite of food at least 10 times is a great habit that leads not only to better digestion, but also greater mindfulness in regard to your eating habits. Number 5, eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. We often forget how intuitive and intuitively rewarding eating can be. One of the simplest and most important rules that I have come to embody is eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full. This philosophy of intuitive eating has had a transformational effect on how I cherish and enjoy each meal. Eating intuitively has also led me to a healthier lifestyle, as I have recognized my body's natural limits in knowing when it should be refueled, as well as the need for hydration, consistent sleep, exercise, and other healthy habits. Though intuitive eating is a hard habit to adopt initially, the reward outweighs the effort tenfold, so don't be shy about indulging in those hunger pains. Number 4, pay attention to your cravings and listen to what your body is telling you. Our intuitive eating senses are incredibly powerful. Paying attention to cravings and listening to what your body is telling you can be a great way to discover intuitive eating. It allows us to get back in tune with our intuitive thoughts and feelings, rather than relying on external factors like food labels or the opinions of others. Intuitive eating is all about getting acquainted with our body's signals, letting go of all the diet rules and regulations, making peace with food, and learning to trust ourselves again. It takes time and effort, but it's worth it. Ultimately, intuitive eating acknowledges that we are complex beings who need diverse nutrition for optimum health. So don't hesitate to follow your cravings. They might be just the insight your body has been desperately trying to tell you. Number 3, allow yourself to eat foods that you enjoy in moderation. Intuitive eating is an intuitive eating philosophy and practice, again, that advocates allowing yourself to eat foods that you enjoy, but in moderation. It involves using your internal signals to guide when and how much you eat and checking in with yourself throughout the process to make sure you're honoring your physical, mental, and emotional needs. When intuitive eating is practiced correctly, it can help promote a healthy relationship with food by allowing for balanced eating patterns. By listening to your body's natural cues of fullness, satisfaction, or hunger, intuitive eating can help put an end to mindless or restrictive overeating or diets that don't honor individuals' unique needs. While moderation is key, Intuitive eating allows you to recognize that depriving yourself on foods you truly enjoy will not lead to improved health, rather than denying the pleasure obtained from food consumption. Intuitive eating allows for flexible, sustainable indulgence in food choices over time so as to maintain an equilibrium between physical and psychological well-being. Number 2, be gentle with yourself and give yourself permission to make mistakes sometimes. It's easy to become your own worst critic, especially when it comes to dieting and intuitive eating. It's important to remember that fear of failure or mistakes should not weigh too much on your choices. Making mistakes can help you grow and understand the unique needs of your body. It is perfectly okay to give yourself permission to make mistakes while intuitively eating. This can be done by shifting the attitude around how we view mistakes as simply learning experiences that may lead us closer to intuitively connecting with foods our bodies need. Taking a gentler approach in those moments of errors can help bring more ease into intuitive eating practice and make more room for intuitive signals and intuitive comfort with food choices. Number 1, respect your body. Taking the time to respect your body and intuitively eat can make a huge difference in overall health and well-being. Practicing intuitive eating starts with learning to tune into your body's natural needs by listening intently, rather than simply following the latest health fad or diet. When intuitive eating is done correctly, it can help bring awareness to consuming foods that our bodies need while also being mindful of how they make us feel afterward. Taking steps such as counting blessings, finding movement you enjoy, controlling your environment, honoring hunger and fullness cues, respecting the dietary patterns of your culture or religion all contribute towards respectful body practices. Intuitive eating can be beneficial for all people, but is especially important for those struggling with an unhealthy relationship with food. Now check out this video, the 10 health benefits of eating a low sodium diet, and also don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.